Hey guys, Frank here, and previously I've shown you how to install and quickly set up a WordPress and WooCommerce store. This time I want to show you how to quickly deploy an OpenCart framework. Now both of them are content management systems, they're CMSs. However, OpenCart is quite a bit more flexible and powerful straight out of the box than WooCommerce is. WooCommerce is a great e-commerce system, don't get me wrong. OpenCart just has some more features and is more focused on selling online than WordPress is. So, the problem is OpenCart is actually a little bit more technically challenging to get installed and set up. The benefits of that flexibility, though, are, for example, you can create multiple storefronts and tie them all to the same back end. So if you wanted to create a outdoor store, for example, you could create the outdoor store, a hiking store, camping, fishing, hunting, etc. Like you could create all these different stores on different domains and niche down into the categories you want and tie everything to the same admin panel. So all of your sales, all of your transactions, everything would be tracked in one place. And to add items to different stores, all you would have to do is click which store you want that item in. Like I said, it's a lot more powerful, it's a lot more flexible, but it does come with that extra cost of technical know-how. So let's go ahead and get set up on. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our DreamHost panel. And we're going to go to Domains, Manage Domains. If you don't already have one, you're going to add hosting to a domain or subdomain. Now, I've already registered OpenCart.azon Ninja, and I did that specifically so I didn't have to wait for the site to propagate to the internet. If you don't have a domain, all you're going to do is click that add hosting to a domain subdomain. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to change the user for this subdomain that I've created. And I'm going to do that because when you create your website, you are going to have to go through these similar steps in order to actually connect to your server. So I'm just going to click Create New User, and this is where the same things happen. Once you create your user, it's going to come up with this box, and it has your username and your password. This is the username and password that we are going to need to connect to our server with an FTP. An FTP is a file transfer protocol, and it is literally what allows you to take files from your local machine and add them to the server. Now, the most popular FTP software is actually FileZilla. But rather than go directly to the FileZilla site, I would recommend going to Ninite, NINITE.com. And what Ninite is it's actually a bloat-free program downloader. So all of these free programs that are out there, they offer them as a download without any of the advertisements. You don't have to uncheck different toolbars and all the ads and different things. You just come here and click what you want, and it puts it all into one bulk download and puts it on your machine without issue. So we're going to go to Developer Tools and click FileZilla and then get your Ninite. Once you go through that and install, I'm not going to go through the process because I do already have FileZilla. You just open your FileZilla, go to File, Site Manager, and we're going to create a new site. Now you can name this anything you want. I'm going to just name it the name of the domain that we are creating. And then on the right side, under Host, you're going to type the domain that you are trying to connect to. We're going to leave it as the protocol as FTP. We're going to change the login type to normal. Now this is where you actually need those credentials from the last page. So I'm just going to copy the username, paste that in, and then I'm going to copy the password and paste that as well. Now I'm going to click connect, but it's not going to connect right now, and I'll explain why. See, login incorrect. If we go back to our site manager, the protocol is FTP, which is fine. However, when the user was created, it was created as SFTP. The difference is one is secure and one is not. But because we're not ready to set up an SSL just yet, we're going to change that. So we're going to go to Users, Manage Users, and click Edit on the user that we just created. And we're going to change that to FTP User. And then save. So it's going to take a couple minutes for this to actually allow us to connect, but you will need an SSL, a secure socket layer, a certificate that basically says that your domain traffic is encrypted. Eventually you will need that because in order to process credit card payments and most other payments, you have to have that secure layer. So when you get that SSL certificate, I would suggest changing this back to either SFTP or shell access. For now, we don't really need it, so we're just going to adjust our connection type to reflect it. Still not letting us log on just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over, and all I did was Google OpenCart. Now this is going to take you to opencart.com. And the first thing you're going to see is the free download box. Click that, click download now, and then go ahead and download the OpenCart system. Now the last couple times I've tried to make this video, this has been a snag where it completes the download or finishes downloading, but it doesn't actually complete it. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this because I've already actually extracted all of the files onto my desktop. You're just going to go in, you're going to extract it all, and then you'll have the same folder. And we're just going to go in, and we are actually looking for the upload folder. Let's try to connect one more time. Still not quite there. Now once it does allow us to connect, this little clock should go away. But sometimes you can actually connect a little bit sooner, and that's what I'm trying to do. Alright, so now that we're finally connected, you'll see that there are multiple folders on here. We are looking for the folder that is our domain name. So we're just going to click into that. We're going to take all of the files and folders in our upload from our OpenCart download. We're just going to select them all and then literally just drag them and drop them into this little box right here. Now this is starting the upload process to where it's actually putting the files on our website. A few other things that you're going to need to do, that I'm going to go ahead and show you now, is this config.dist. That is actually going to need to change. The config.dist, we need to rename it to just config.php. And there's one other one under the admin folder that we're also going to need to change. Now that is part of the install process that we're going to come across. For now, we have to wait until all of these queued files are finished. So while we're waiting for our site to finish uploading, I'm going to show you VQmod. Now VQmod is a small folder that you install on your site that extends OpenCart's functionality. So we're just going to type VQmod in search, and go to the first result, which should be a GitHub. Now if we scroll down, it has all kinds of instructions and all kinds of crazy code, but we don't really need all of that. There should be a download button somewhere here. Let's go to the Google code. Okay, so here's under downloads, there's a link to Google code, and under downloads we're just going to click the first result. Now same process, we are going to go ahead and extract this. I'm going to add a folder called VQMod. And we're going to click in until we get to the folder that's called strictly VQMod. And this entire folder is going to be uploaded straight into the root. Now make sure you don't drop it on one of these other folders or it's going to put it inside of it. You want to drop it on any other files, fine, but we need it on the root, the top level, meaning there's no other folders or domains or directories. We want it right on the base of the site. We're finally getting somewhere with our queued files, and they should be done here in just a second so that we can continue this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and close out some of these. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go to our new domain. And it hasn't finished yet, just yet. Alright, let's go ahead and refresh this page. We are actually looking for the install folder. And it may be that because we changed users, this hasn't propagated yet either. So here's one other thing that I nearly forgot to mention to you. The htaccess.txt. This file essentially controls your website. However, it is not a .txt. When you put an htaccess folder on your desktop, Windows automatically renames that to a .txt to try to manage it. However, we cannot have the .txt. So simply rename it, delete the .txt, and hit enter. Let's go ahead and try to refresh one more time. Alright, so there we have it. Our site has propagated. Now when I say propagated, what I mean is whenever you create a new domain or change a user that's hosting that domain, etc., it takes a little bit of time for the new settings and the new files to be transferred across all of the servers so that anybody can connect to it. That's propagating across the internet, and that kind of causes a delay whenever you're trying to do things like that. However, we do have our OpenCart install ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. Now earlier when I renamed those config files, if I hadn't renamed them, then right here it would say error. So we renamed those and this is ready and everything is good to go already. We're green the whole way down. So we're just going to go ahead and click continue. And now here's another area where we're going to have to set something else up. We're going to go back to our DreamHost panel. We're going to click Goodies, MySQL Databases. And then we're going to scroll the whole way to the bottom. We're going to need to create a new database to store the information for our OpenCart setup. So I'm just going to go ahead and name this something along the lines of What you name it is up to you. We're going to go ahead and create a new user, and just remember what your username and password are. I'm going to try just password. Alright, so now we're going to go back to our configuration. These are the settings that we're going to need right here. So we are going to grab the mysql.azonninja.com. Our DB driver is MySQL. Our host name is not localhost. It's going to be the mysql.azonninja.com. We're going to grab our username, which is azonninjaoc. Our password was simply password. We're going to come back and grab our database, which is azonninjaoc tutorial. We're going to go ahead and leave the port and the prefix. Now we need to create our admin login. As always, I suggest not using admin as a username, but because this is a tutorial, I'll go ahead and leave it for the time being. Okay, so now we have all of our information. We've got our MySQL database created. Let's just go ahead and click continue. Alright, so we have our site set up, and it's giving us a warning. Don't forget to delete your installation directory. So we're just going to go ahead and open our FTP, click that folder, and click delete. That'll help secure your site. However, let's go ahead and go to our online shop and see what it looks like. So like I said, default vanilla install, but it's actually robust and powerful, and now you've got your start set up. Let's go ahead and log into our admin panel, and we used admin password. So over here is your orders and sales statistics, your customers, heat maps, and all kinds of different cool things that you can do. You can go into catalog, and this is where you can start changing your categories and your products. I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything. Let's create a new category, call it test. And we're going to go over and click data. This is where you can set parent categories. So example, if you wanted toys and then Legos, you could do that. And kind of what I was mentioning before about the multi-store functionality, this is where you would click into your different stores and choose where all you want this category to show. So let's go ahead and save this and go into products. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything and then create a new product. So let's go ahead and let's do what we did previously and go grab some kind of product from Amazon real quick. I'm just going to stick with Lego. Now we're going to go over to data. Let's just use the ASIN as the model number. Set our price $47.97. We've got our quantities, and you can determine if you want to subtract stock or not. Now this is more or less for digital products, whereas you may not have a limit. So if it's a digital product, you're obviously going to say no. If it's a physical object, you're obviously going to want to say yes. And you do have options to set your SEO URL and different things like that. And we want to make sure that the status is enabled. We can set manufacturers, we can set filters, and again we can set our stores, attach different downloads to it. And adding variations and different attributes gets a little bit messy, but once you figure it out, it's not too bad. You can change the images. We can even set reward points so that if people buy from you enough times, they accumulate reward points and get discounts and things like that. Let's just go ahead and save it for now. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and edit the picture. We'll go ahead and upload this just to get a better example. Save that. There's one thing I forgot to do in the category section, and that's make it a top level category. Our test category is not showing because of that. So down here where it says top, we want to check that box. So we'll click into our test, and our product is not showing. Not real great for this example. I forgot to set it to the category of test, which would be why. So we'll try this one more time. And there you have it. Lego blocks ready to sell. So obviously you're probably not going to just jack everything straight from Amazon like that, but you can. It's a good way to get your products cross-listed and get your own domain started. So OpenCart is a robust and flexible platform. It's dedicated to e-commerce, and it's really come a long way in the past couple of years, and it's gaining a lot of popularity and momentum. So feel free to check it out. Please let me know if you used this tutorial and found it helpful, or if you have any questions or comments. Just go ahead and post it all below. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it.